I wasn't able, because I couldn't get the date in my head correctly. September 6th will be our next reading, and that's a Saturday at 6 o'clock, like they all have been this year. It's going to be Kevin Ridgway from Long Beach, California, and Jason Baldinger from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And they will be here. We're happy about that. To get Kevin here is tremendous. So if you have a calendar here, you have a calendar on your phone, go ahead and mark it if you'd like to hear them. And I tell you, you will not be disappointed. September 6th, 6 o'clock.
Sweet.
All right. So with that, we don't have a huge open mic list, but I am going to welcome up Ken.
Ken.
Woo!
Great, I'm going to start out by reading a poem by another poet, Scott Young, who definitely lives in the Ozarks. Yes. Open all night. I stumble. Thank you. Yes, okay. Open all night. I stumble out of last night into Sunday morning, beating the church crowd to Denny's. I keep a sweat-stained poem folded inside my head, under the band. I pull it out sometimes between night and morning, between a Boilermaker and a Grand Slam. When I leave alone and all the sadness poured in a glass at closing time follows me down the sidewalk, kicking me in the ass. Tonight, I unfold it, unable to make out the words. Under the sepia glow of an old downtown, I open my hand, let the wind. I open my hand, let the wind, an urban blender of lonesome, mix the pieces with old cigarettes and blowing paper. Waiting to cross the street, I wonder how many times something is lost on Sunday mornings, just like this one. Scott Young. Okay, so I don't write long poems, and this isn't long, but it's a marathon for me. It's I guess it's sort of a memoir. My father died more than 30 years ago, but he always liked to brag of the fact that when I was a kid, about 5 years old, back in the 50s, that I could name any car that we would see, you know. So, name that car. Your pride, a son not long out of diapers, who could name any make and model of car. Not that there were all that many models back in 1958. But that was later. There was the story of the beat-up Packard your older brother bought, kept out of sight inside the barn just long enough to take you on a joyride before your mother made him sell it. That would be the barn that was nearly burned down when you and your little sister, barely out of diapers, were playing with matches. I can picture you later, behind the wheel, before I was a twinkle in your eye, as you pursued the girl who hung out at the roller rink and kept you running in circles until you both settled down. Then came ovals. You in the stands watching cars race around inside the rock pile, while on Mom's lap I slept through the roar of the crowd, of the cars. There was no stadium in sight as we camped at Watkins Glen and hung out on the fence to watch in awe as Grand Prix Formula One racers screamed past our tents. You helped me drop the transmission from my '66 Rambler and replace it the day before it was to be sold in the paper. Then you watched silently, nearly reaching toward my hands to guide them as I rebuilt the carburetor on the olds that replaced that Rambler. My vision of you in my younger years was seeing you behind the wheel of your '56 Buick, arm draped over the steering wheel. And later, sitting beside you in your retirement, your arm draped over the steering wheel as if trying to regain your youth, waving to neighbors your aging eyes could barely make out as we rolled down country roads. And always doing your own tune-ups and repairs. I don't remember you ever having a car in the shop. Even now, 30 years later, with hybrids and electrics, with everything computerized, you'd probably still find a way to tune them, do anything to keep those wheels rolling. you'd be telling me about the latest models. And I'll read one from Random Riffs. For strangers, Random Riffs are poems that I wrote while driving, dictate to my phone, take into account what I'm seeing, where I'm going, and thoughts in my head. So, yes, and we'll read one of those. And this happened. Geez, I was probably about 30 when it happened. So, and what I do is I subtitle them with the name of the music that inspired the music and the band. Roll the Bones. Roll the Bones by Rush. Back in New York, on River Road, Niagara River beside me, every time I drive this stretch, I get a rush thinking about that day 45 years ago. Accelerating from 45, I approached the light where the speed limit changed to 55. When a car pulled out and stopped, my path blocked. Random interaction leads to action, reaction. Even at 73 feet per second, I didn't need math to tell me I had 2 seconds to react. No time to ask, why me? I swerved hard left, then right, back into my lane. My front wheel danced in slow-mo at 50 miles an hour, and my bike took forever to slide to its side. I hit the pavement in time with the handlebars. Headlight first, my wheels still spinning, and the highway passing below me, going nowhere. Helmet destroyed in road rash, but no broken bones. After one hell of a rush, I drove that bike home the next day, bought a bigger one the next year, and rolled on. 12 years later, this time behind the wheel, Geddy Lee came on the radio and told me it happened because it happened. Roll the bones.
Yeah.
Thank you for our address, and thank you to our readers, and thank you to Mark and Tony.
Okay. The next person I'm going to call up is John Clayton.
Clay.
Hang right in your eyes.
That's sunshine. Right in my face. It's no problem. I'm old, half blind anyway. What can I do with my book? There it is. Sitting on. I'm going to read a couple of pieces out of an older book. We sometimes, Ken and I especially, sometimes read poems by other people. And I really kind of rediscovered this poem not too long ago, rereading some stuff. So this poem is by a guy who lives over by Bay, if you know where that's at. It's like between here and Herman. His name is John Grady. I don't really know him, but he's a part of this anthology that we put together. It's called Behind the Mask. What I once was, you knew well. What I am now, I can't even tell. I live in the darkness, encased by fear, a smile on my face, but it is only a mask, my dear. The mask engulfs me. We become one. How long till it's over? When will it be done? Darkness surrounds, the demons are near. Strength, it eludes me. I succumb to my fear. Destruction of mind, destruction of soul. They whisper I'm crazy, but how can they know? Thank you. The next piece I'm going to read is also from the book, but Apple drives me crazy. Because every 3 days they change stuff, and I'm too old to figure it out for about 3 or 4 weeks. This piece is called What's It Like? Some experiences are personal. They're not describable by the spoken word. If you really want to know, you just have to do it. There ain't no shortcut to it. What's it like to have a baby? What's it like to feel pain in a missing foot? What's it like to ask for their hand in marriage and get a maybe? What's it like to lose all your loot? What's it like to have your mother die? What's it like to realize your sweetheart has told you a lie? What's it like to believe you're about to die? What's it like to kill someone and watch them die? What's it like to have PTSD? Well, you'll never know what the next time will be. We just have to wait and wait and wait and see. No one else's words can set you free. What's combat like, they want to know? Well, put your fear in the box and let it go. I'm too busy right now to let it show. And if I don't die, maybe, just maybe, I will grow. The Bible says you should expect to reap what you sow. We poise do our best to take you where we go. We can write the descriptive words and try, but we still do not know what it's like to die. This next piece I have to read off by a piece of paper because I've lost it on my computer. And it's out there in the ether somewhere, but where I'm not sure.
Paper doesn't let you down.
Pardon?
Paper doesn't let you down.
Doesn't if we lose it. This piece is from 2018, our first round with Trump, and I make no apologies for my politics. It's called Anguished Child. Children cried at Wounded Knee, looking for their mothers among the bodies as far as the eye could see. Don't worry about them. What's it to you? They're only brown kids known as the Sioux. Children cried as they walked to the Auschwitz gas chamber. Why should we remember? They're just Jews and inferior to you. But we'll keep the wedding rings and the gold teeth too. A little girl cried in 1942 as her father read 9006, the executive order. Before boarding the train for the internment camp, far, far from the border, the good Anglo folks laughed as they rolled out of town. They didn't care because the Japs were all brown. Oh, get out of here. They're not cages. It's only a partition. It might be different if they were monkeys or dogs. This is a different situation. It's like a boarding school with books and PlayStation 4. It's not a prison. Mommy's gone, and there's a lock on the door. These migrants are knocking down the border door. Don't worry about harm. These kids are brown. Separating families can't be that bad. She's an irresponsible mother, and he's a migrant dad. For a better life and safety, mom and dad are trying, and now the frightened children are crying. Oh my God, are we in a stew? When the children cry, America, where the hell are you?
unusual to get to bring up someone new, at least lately. And before I do, I'm gonna say, if anyone still wants to read and be on this list to come up and read something, last call for alcohol, come sign up. All right. And with that, I am just going to welcome up Matt.
Hi everybody, and thanks for having such a great space here and so welcoming. Just turn my phone so I can't read it anymore. This is a poem about my teaching and how sometimes, this past spring especially, I realized how much older I was than my students, and often was like, what can I say that would actually mean anything to them? How do I communicate my experience to them? So this is called What My Poetry Students Don't Know. When I asked them how to shred a carrot, one proposed tying to Mick Jagger's guitar strings so that his playing would shred it. They don't know. Bobby's Eddie Cheddar joke from King of the Hill. See also the desire to make this a list poem or to dunk on my students. They don't know, some of them. Caught in the poetry trap, listening set them free. They write what they don't know on a grain of rice. What my poetry students don't know is the cold comfort one can find in poetry, the light stage of grounding for doing what you thought was right. They're lucky to know. My father, widowed, washed up in his hometown after decades away, found the dirty Jaron Poetry Society on Saturday nights a refuge for being who he was just then, tied himself to the mast of Odysseus and let it sing to him. How certainty slipped away the more he reached into it, a bottomless bag that remains full after he emptied. There was more. He's the one who ran out. That's what I want my students to know. Thank you.
Hey, John, am I too late for last call?
No.
I'm Robin.
What's that?
I'm Robin.
Oh, I do. I know. I remember that.
Hold on, Danny.
She has entrance
I
music.
don't know.
Right.
I don't know about that music that sounds like Romancing the Stone from like 1984, like you're the
It
jungle.
could be, it's an Apple thing.
I don't know. Bo, we'll get up here then, because
All
I don't
right.
have that many more people come up and do it.
Yeah.
Okay. This is- Okay, I am definitely a newbie, y'all, so it's great to be back here. And thank you, Mr. Clayton. He opened a door that has helped this thing up here start churning and releasing, and great therapy. But this poem is called Safe. Safe on the run. No more human demons. Engulfed flames to hell. No mercy in sight. Safe on the run. Grip tight for the fight. Safe on the run. Death wrecks blood. Demons hell. Closing in. Grip tight for the fight. Safe on the run. Tensions shatters without bladders. Evil explosions no one knows. Safe on the run. Hidden away. Honor awaits. Safe on the run. Resting in peace of a sigh. No more ties. Demons nowhere to hide. Nowhere to run. Safe on the run. Parking space. Honor protected. Safe on the run.
See, Robin was talking about John Clayton opening a door. I'd be worried that he's gonna push me down the stairs. No, don't trust anyone. But, all right. Thank you, Robin. Thanks for coming back. Come back anytime, come back every time. You know, we're always happy to have people here. September 6th, 6 o'clock, we will be here.
I got you on the calendar already.
Yeah. And so with that, I'm just going to close out the evening with Belle's very own illustrious, prestigious poet laureate, Mr. Jason Reber. There it is, sir.
I was shanghaied, by the way,
Yeah.
smacked over the head and woke up on a ship at sea. First of all, I need to clear something up. I'm not doing anything to this guy. It's these East Coast, New Jersey, New York guys who come out here with their attitude, judging us, our scenery, our pizza. They judge our pizza mercilessly.
Get the fuck out, you're on video right now. You're
Lying to everyone on me. So you don't put the vegetables and the meat under the cheese. You're supposed to put... Sick of it. Sick of it.
Don't listen to him.
The shirt shows it all.
That's right.
Boo.
This gets This is Wesley. I grew up around we call them bathtub virgins, and like most of the time people they give you that look. I'm like, what are you talking about? They're everywhere. Aren't they? I thought,
We had those too, but that was something.
but sometimes they have like lighting, special lighting on them. This is sort of about the woman who we named the bookstore after, and she's just this sweet, archetypal Aunt B who allegedly at one point, I think, wanted to join like a convent and be a saint. I don't know where I got this info, so my brain starts cooking. I turn into, no. It's like a front for like some international assassin ring, and her front is this sweet old lady, but deep down she's a killer. And if you saw her, she looked like she's like, I just made these cookies. And she had this phrase that she would always say, precious as porcelain. Oh, you're just precious as porcelain. So, here we go. Precious as porcelain, or bathtub virgin for a shallow grave. Heard she joined a convent somewhere in France or Spain when she was just a kid. Thought she wanted to be a saint or something. Heard they were a front for the mob or the CIA or even the Illuminati, upon which so many routinely speculate and theorize late into the night. Heard she got recruited into the inner circle of the organization to be trained as an elite, world-class assassin. Heard the headmistress told her every day that she was precious as porcelain, that she'd be perfect because no one would ever suspect her. Heard that's the last thing you heard before everything went black, with a foot in your chest and two in the face. Why, you're just as precious as porcelain. Pop, pop. Heard she did that for 20 years until one day it became one kill too many and she just walked away. Heard she disappeared from it all. Went on the run and off the grid of a murky underworld that was already off the grid. Heard there was a price on her head. Heard there were sightings in Mogadishu, Bangladesh, and Bangor, Maine even. Heard anyone who went looking was never heard from again. Heard some hotshot looking to make a name got a hot tip. Heard this fool came calling one day, looking for blood or to claim the bounty, or maybe even to try to pull her back into the life for just one last big score. Heard she invited him in for cucumber sandwiches and a fine Darjeeling and a little talk about the weather, and now that sorry son of a bitch is buried in her backyard, in a shallow grave beneath a bathtub virgin, feeding the worms and microbes and thirsty shoots and rootlets of marigolds, tulips, and daylilies, precious as porcelain. Woo! This is kind of one for Ken's car. Poem's called Song of the Purple Impala, or Bleeding Jesus on the Dashboard. He swears that it came with the car when he bought it from the old man with a wooden leg out on Old 40 Highway. I'm crapping you negative, son, a goddamn wooden leg. That he wasn't particularly religious, but thought it might bring him a little luck on his midnight runs back and forth across the state line. A 68 Purple Impala, complete with its own fuzzy dice and bleeding Jesus on the dashboard. Though he always maintained it and kept it tuned up and tight and had the latest police scanners and fuzz busters, this is back before they could detect you detecting them, mind you. And a USMC, and I support the highway PD stickers on the rear bumper. Christ, those dumbass hippies with their peace signs and Grateful Dead shit just asking to get pulled over. And that at the exact actual moment of stigmata would only occur, if you believe in such things, when you got it cranked up to 100 plus. And if anybody doubted him and ever wanted to witness this theological miracle for themselves, why hell, he'd gladly take them for a drive anytime.
Yeah.
I'm obsessed with a handful of movies that I've watched over and over and over and over again. Pretty much, if you got me going, I could probably do the dialogue from beginning to end, which I won't do for you. But Apocalypse Now is one of them. I don't know how many of you are familiar with it. If you're not an American, get the fuck out. This is called Never Get Out of the Goddamn Boat.
That's right.
It's a wet, gray morning in mid-December here in south central Missouri. The less fashionable foothills of the Ozarks, as it's known by some. Not exactly pouring, but a fairly constant and consistent pipping. And not exactly warm, but an unseasonably tropical 50-some-odd degrees. Almost balmy, you might say, for this time of year anyway. And I've only just woken from a strange, surrealist montage of dreams, broken by the sudden subterranean train yard rumble of thunder, though there haven't been any trains in these parts for decades. Dreams of deer roaming and snuffling freely through the sleeping streets of Kansas City, Missouri. Dreams of star charts on my inner eyelids, milk-white phantom dreams, blue-black storm dreams, wherein every night I go up the snaking circuit cable of the river, and every night I get out of the boat and walk deep into the sweating jungle to confront what must be my inner nemesis, only to be stalked and devoured again and again by the brightly burning tiger's fearful symmetry. Get out of the goddamn boat, man! It's called Making the Rounds. You can see the pink street lights coming on at that exact point where late afternoon makes the exchange with early evening. And you can still smell the white magnolias and the night wind as it sweeps the sky clean of any last clouds. And the streets are all deserted now, except for cats and crows and the odd patrol car out making their rounds. And somewhere, not too far from here, someone is playing the cello.
Yeah.
I love those shoes.
Thank you.
Holy shit.
Oh, yeah.
God damn!
I was trying to figure out what they were made of, actually.
Plastic.
Okay.
Puppies.
They're excluded.
Puppies.
I can't handle that. But, all right. So that's it for Open Mic List. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you, Scott. Thank you, Wes. Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you, Mark and Tony again. Appreciate all of you. And we will see you again September 6th at 6 o'clock.